Hey guys, we're back on turn 24 of Somber Tango. So, say hi.
Hi.
Okay, so we're gonna go into, So last episode, you remember what happened? Do you remember baiting the trap?
Yes.
Okay, and?
Kill the grandmother.
Yep. And now we're gonna try to mop up. So let's see what's happening. We're gonna get some counter rating. He's gonna try to stay alive a little bit longer and just try to buy for time. What he's trying to do is he's trying to make sure that he can survive long enough for someone else to try to help him out. Somebody not his partner. Because his partner's not. His partner's finally come out of his den and is marching his way south. But at the same time, he's not going due south. He kind of went off to the east, and so he's not working to help out his partner as much as he's just trying to help out himself. So this is going to be a big fight. Okay, so Vish has went on to Marverni's capital, and what he's done is he got a lot of chaff. So these are just mercenaries and mercenaries and mercenaries. So it's a bunch of troops that he bought. On this side, Marverni has a bunch of mages. So these are all his magic casters. So we're going to see what he casts. Yeah. So if you see this thing as his communion slave, that means that they're going to help boost the paths of the communion masters. So this guy is the communion master, and he went from, I think he went from an S1, which is Astro 1, to an S2. And that'll let him do some mind burns. Let's see what he does. Okay, so Body Ethereal makes it harder for him to get hit. Now, let me see if I can actually find it. These guys are Body Ethereal. And what it does is that if you get, it negates 75% of attacks. So if you get hit if a guy hits you 4 times, it's only going to hit once. Now, the way that you can combat this is that you have magic weapons, which we have. And he's also doing Strength of Giants, so he's able to hit a little bit stronger. Yeah, that's about it. And then a little bunch of bugs. So, what he's done is he's made these guys stronger, which I don't really know why. But yeah, it's nothing that seems to be really powerful. I mean, Strength of Giants is going to be nice on guys, but, yeah. Well, these guys don't because they're mercenaries. And I even see he's actually getting strength onto these troops. So like these guys are enlarged because of the bless, and they've got a stronger. Their enchantment gives them +4. So I didn't know you could do Strength of Giants and enlarged. I didn't know that was actually you can double up and get 7 strength. So he's hitting for 27 damage. These guys have only got 14 protection, so 10 hit points plus 14 protection is less than 27. So these guys are going to get one-shotted. But yeah, these guys don't have magic weapons. A lot of your commanders do. And, but not the actual, not your troops normally don't. So I think I might be getting the audio through here, so I'm gonna actually lower my speakers real quick. Oh yeah, you're definitely getting, okay, so we're gonna, sorry, I was dealing with the sound today, which might be why the audio sounds different. But they've also done something called, Earth Melt. And what it does is it, brings the earth up and locks you in place, and it brings your, I thought it brought your defense down. Yeah, his defense is down to 2. So it's a good way to hit things that are very easy, easily dodge, and then, you're almost guaranteed to hit. So, we did not win that. He lost 103 guys to Marverni losing, 2 mages, and 5 total. Yeah, and these guys all respawn. The province defense respawns. What happened is that when he started doing that communion and boosting his masters, when those guys cast spells, all of their tiredness, all of the energy that they use to cast those spells gets pushed down to the communion slaves. And if it breaks 200 points, you start taking damage. And these guys probably took enough damage just to straight up die. You know, I'll show you that real quick. We'll go look at this and go into fast forward mode. Oops. Okay, so faster, boys, faster. And you watch this guy. He's got 103 fatigue. So he's already unconscious and on the ground. But then he just, see the 200 fatigue? And how he's lower on hit points? He used to be 14 hit points, and now he's down to 9. We're just going to see him pop pretty soon. Yep, there he goes. He popped. Yeah. And so he did a regen trying to keep himself alive, but it just wasn't enough. Okay, so Marverni lost. Okay, so Roos has attacked us down south with his gigantic army, and he's actually heading towards to try to help out Marverni. It's really... Yeah, finally, exactly. Now, to his credit, it looked like the Great Mother was going to kind of hold out for a while, and so they were just kind of holding. But yeah, once the Great Mother died, he has to come down to the rescue. Now, Florian is the fort next to us, and he is coming out against our army and hope. I don't know if he's like trying to push us off and hope to win or something like this, but this is pretty much everything he had in the fort. So he's got a bunch of mages and a bunch of troops. So let's see what he casts. So Awakened Tattoos is going to turn these guys, their tattoos will give them invulnerability. Which means that it's kind of like protection, but if it's against magic weapons, the magic weapons will ignore it. So it's not going to work too well against this. They are also doing Body Ethereal, once again. It'll help if you're not getting hit by normal weapons. And that works out all well and good against these Maenads. These Maenads do not have magic weapons. The magic weapons you can see is... this guy should have one. Nope, he doesn't. So normally there's a little symbol next to it letting you know that you have a magic weapon. Maybe this guy has it? Nope. Wow, nobody in here has a naturally magic weapon. But these white centaurs have been blessed, and if you see it says magic weapons, and so that means all of these attacks are all magic weapons. So any of my white centaurs are going to be magic weapons. Now, do you see a problem that I have with the way that my army's set up? Who's going to hit them first? These Maenads, right? And what's wrong with that? There you go. And so we're going to have it's going to be a bad day to be a naked woman running down in the snow, hitting these armored guys.
Terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. But if you see, like, these guys are mopping up on the corners, and so and then the Maenads are just up and dying.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, we took so much damage that we actually routed here, and we actually lost the fight. However, there's been a patch. And so in the actual battle, our forces actually won in the real battle.
Oh,
And so it's a little bit different between the different patches. But you can see what happened. The Maenads died really fast, and so we lost 119 of them. We even lost 8 white centaurs, so it was a pretty big loss. That being said, we killed 122 of their guys. Including 36 expensive troops and 16 more expensive troops, and then 32 of his cap-only sacreds, which are incredibly expensive. All in all, I lost a bunch of guys that cost me no money. A couple of commanders, which are probably 100 gold each. That's like 4 of these guys. And then the big loss was a bunch of these white centaurs, which is 400 gold. And 400 gold is 20 of these guys. So, all in all, we came out way ahead. And not only that, we also killed a bunch of the guys that are inside, trying to keep the castle upright. The downside is that the guys that are building our catapults and knocking down their walls, they all died. So it's going to take us a longer time. It actually was successful. He's buying time, and he bought time. But the problem is do I have more more coming up. I don't know. We're gonna see. Okay, so Yomi now has realized that we're on the push, and so he's coming up with his troops again, and we're trying to kill him. But like I said, like he got his head handed to him, so he's kind of very scared. He doesn't have any magic weapons. These Bakemono shows just have a pinyan weapon, like a normal weapon. Let's see, and then just a raid. We got some more Earth Gems, more province income. Work is going very slowly. That means it's going to take like 10 turns to kill this fort, and we don't want 10 turns. Zabalba is falling. Ulm is winning, and so we need to win in a flippin' hurry. Okay, and then up against Rus, we don't even have. I think I left like a couple guys there. What you can do, I'll show you. Oh no, this is where is that fort that we can't? Oh, it's this one. Okay, I don't really know why. Oh, the reason is these guys aren't in a group. So normally what happens if oh no, that's he's actually got his troops on top of mine. Ah, so he attacked us. This is going on to my fort right here. So he's going on to my fort. The thing is, I have so many forts that I don't really need that one to produce troops. And it doesn't lock my troops in because my troops are invisible, so they just sneak out the gate and then attack. Yeah. And what's interesting, too, is that for some reason or another, this is the right turn. Yeah, we ran back into this fort for some reason. I don't exactly know why we did that. But we did move back into the fort. Okay, so this isn't. Yeah, this is the turn. This is the right turn. Oh yeah, and of course it is because yeah. Okay. Hey Gooberface. Sorry, my son just woke up. Come here, Goober. You want to say hi? Say hi.
Hey.
Say hi. So Vish is coming down here with his Dionis, which are big guys, and he's just looking for magic. We need magic. We need magic gems. So he's looking for magic gems. Now these Dione do have magic weapons, but the funny thing is, I don't think any of my troops regularly have. Oh no, these guys do. Oh no, they don't. Yeah, nobody has magic weapons naturally. That's really entertaining. Hey, do you have to pee? Okay, go. Go. Okay. Go, Pecan. Go.
Sorry.
Okay, so, I'm gonna go make sure he's actually going in there. Okay, so, other than that, that's pretty much the end of the turn. We can see, the elves are still taking over more territory. And, it's not looking very good for Arcos Safali. He says it's fine. I tell him, like, hey, are you gonna be okay? And he's like, yeah, no problem. Zabalba kicked off the people on top of him, and we finally get to see that, I don't know if this is an Elder Cyclops. Oh no, that's not his, that's just, even though it looks like our prophet, it's not the same. So, this is what we do. Okay, so, okay. So this is what you do if you want to siege down a fort, but if you want to keep it under siege, but you don't actually want to siege it down. Mm-hmm. If you see, I've got one guy just sitting here, and that'll keep it under siege, so he can't get money from it, and he can't produce troops. So even if this guy was not here, he still couldn't produce. But the thing is, all he has to do is attack it, and it'll go away. So, let's see, anything else? That looks like. So we're gonna move on to the next turn. Turn 25. Yeah, Argo kept telling me, like, it's okay. So now that we got rid of his Mother Oakcaster, we got our Mother Oakcaster, and we got Mother. And we're finally starting to seduce. And this is really awesome. So, the first thing that we're going to do is seduce one of our Bernese guys. So we've got a bunch of gems to cast bugs, and he's going to use his Starfire. So here comes our bugs. And what happens, this is why these guys are so strong, is that they just pop a bunch of bugs on you and you die immediately. That was really cool. And then we're dealing with a couple more barbarian chiefs that are in a province that we don't want to deal with the barbarians. Okay, so we also killed a bunch of barbarians in an independent province, and he's marching his way southward with Russes. And then another raid. Also, we went into our fort. We came out of our fort, and he was not there, so he ran away. Now, the upside is that we have gone to Florian, and this time we actually have enough troops to actually bust it wide open. Yay! So next turn we're gonna assault and see how it goes. We've got more siege chat that's coming up to make sure that we can take out this one and this one really quickly. Let's see, is there anything else to this turn? Wait, where's Bruce? Where's Bruce's army? So Bruce's army, instead of coming down to help Marverni, has went to relieve his own force. They had one guy on it. Yeah, I know.
I thought it was a team game.
I did too.
Maybe he misunderstood.
No. But I think it was at this point that I actually got a hold of Marverni's, and I was like, "What's your partner doing?" And he said, my partner got very tilted. Supposedly what happened is, he came to this province right here, and there was some guy with, these epic items on, and he attacked this province, 4 times and lost. And finally, the elves came in and took it. Oh, but the elves lost once as well. So this province pretty much held its own for 5 attacks. And because of that, he got incredibly tilted, and I think he just was I'm done with it. You'll get that some of the times the people are just I'm done with it. So the barbarians were here. We're going in. We're assassinating the barbarians here, but we lost a guy, and these guys are kind of expensive. And I'm kind of at the point right now where I'm just let's just attack him. Oh, I forgot to show you last turn. I'm gonna go back and do that real quick. Let's go back to turn 24. Because this is kind of a funny thing about Pan and their national, their commander. This guy, he's a wise satyr, and occasionally he'll just enjoy getting himself so drunk that for the entire month he goes insane. So 10% of the time he listens to the void. So yeah, and that what's funny is that's 10% of my research. So 10% of my research goes to the devil gin. So yeah, to the alcohol. It's sacrifice. Okay, so still Vanheim is still, the elves are still taking all of Arcosapali's territory. Yeah, other than that, this is really cool. They just did an update for Niflheim, and you can actually see the new artwork for the old units. I'm kind of wondering if it breaks some of the old saves, because there are some units that aren't around anymore, and there are also some units that have completely changed, so some of the later episodes make it really interesting, so I'm not sure. It might, completely break the replays. It might there's a couple battles that we get to see with Niflheim that are really interesting. But yeah, the artwork is absolutely beautiful now. The Niflheim is the Frost Giants. The Frost Giants and the Frost Hags, and they're a really cool nation. Now, I'll show them to you later, because you get to see them, the player that uses them very, very well. The early era has a lot of giants and elves and demons and stuff like that. And then as you go forward, the humans kind of take over at that point. So, not to say that there aren't humans. These, Olm is human. Bruce is kind of Viking humans. And Marverni is, they're more of the, the Goths from, early France. Or not the Goths. The people that used to, invade, Rome. Maybe it is the Goths, I can't remember. But they're more like that, like the French Germanic tribes. In fact, I think that the tribe or the Sakani, the mages, they've got the same name as one of the tribes of that. Yomi is a Japanese law. They go right down the Japanese line. And there's another group that's called Tianchi that goes down the Chinese line, where it's like you have the ancient Chinese, and then like as you go forward, like you actually have it where the Mongolians have taken over China. Yeah, the Khans. Yeah, you actually have the Khans that take over. And so it's really entertaining. It's kind of interesting. They take a lot of the lore and a lot of the myths and fantasies, and then turn it into an actual nation. I mean, does Korea have enough a lot of war? Probably. I don't know if you can get it together. Probably go write these guys and tell them that they're not respecting the Korean culture, and they should definitely, or that it's highly insulting. So these buggers, they went off of my fort and they went into my woods. They stole my woods. That's Marverni. Now, one interesting thing is that if they take this and they move off, Ulm can take this and it won't be violating NAP. It can be technically violating NAP, but I mean, this was remember, it's Evolving territory.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of the ways that you can kind of fudge your NAP.
So you think Ulm and Marverni are working together?
Well, I mean, it'd be in Marverni's best interest, because if they move off and Ulm hits here and then I try to take it back and I lose troops, it works out for Marverni.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out for Ulm unless they win, and I don't think that Ulm wants, I don't know, but it's one of those things that's kind of shady, and you're not going to make friends by doing it. So, by the way, does this guy look familiar? He looks, sorry, I'll put him over here.
Yeah.
By the way, you can see over on, I got 2 monitors. You can watch on this monitor if the microphone's in the way. So, but he looks like my pretender. Because my pretender, let me see if I can actually find him. Yeah, here he is. See how he kind of looks the same?
Oh.
This is the Elder Cyclops. In the later era, like in the later, because this is early era, in the late era, these guys get the same kind of, the same kind of dude. They actually get an Elder Cyclops as a hero. Okay, moving on to turn 26. Burn through 3 turns an episode. This would be awesome. So I moved into construction 4, which will give me some more boosters. Boosters are things that make my magic levels higher, so I can cast more powerful spells. And then I moved into conjuration, and there's conjuration is the summoning of beasts. So like, you know, you can summon bears or monsters or something like that. And it also, one of the spells that's really powerful is it brings wolves from all over during the battle. It's called Howl. So my disciple found some really cool sights. Again, we attacked another barbarian chief. But I'm kind of, at this point I'm realizing it's taking me like 4 turns to take a province that I could just send an army in. So I think I'd end up taking this province just because anyway. Okay, so at this point, I want to move on to the next fort, because I don't want to sit still. I want my siege strength to keep moving. So let's watch and see what happens. Okay, here's my sieging army, and just a little bit of PD. He's running out of money, so that's why he doesn't have a lot of PD. The thing that's scary is I brought all my white centaurs in. That means I didn't send a whole lot into the siege. And I have a knack of kind of screwing up sieges, so this could be bad. Bruce has taken back their throne, which makes me very sad. Okay. Marverni tries to break. No, is this the... Oh no, they're just raiding again. Okay. And then Yomi is counter-raiding again. Or raiding. I don't know. Something like that. Okay, so in front we've got a bunch of white centaurs on the side, and then this guy that's going to bless them all. On this other side, unknown to me, he somehow did not come out with all of his mages, but rather with most of them. So this could be actually kind of problematic. Because these mages... Okay, so the first thing is, these guys hit for 29 damage. And my guys cannot take 29... I guess they can take 29 damage, but they can't take it twice. Okay. And also they're communioning up. They're getting their magic paths higher. Communion? What's that, sorry? Oh, the blood slaves. They're not blood slaves. Blood slaves are... those are the things that get sent. Okay, the good news is that it doesn't look like they're doing any spells that are worth anything. Their alteration, they went really high in alteration. And alteration doesn't really give you anything combat. Alteration makes a person different. It makes them stronger, or that makes it so they're harder to hit, or something like that. What they want is evocations. Evocations actually deal damage. That being said, if you saw some of my guys had like the little earth meld underneath them, hey look, it's a little froggy again. Was my frog involved in that? Oh, he wasn't. Okay, so they must have turned him into a frog. But the thing is, we lost a whole bunch of white centaurs. It's about 2 turns worth of white centaurs, and that makes me very sad. But, I mean, all in all, we took the fort, which is what we lost. And we're moving on, and for the first time ever, we're actually getting somewhere. Now, the other awesome thing is that we got another white centaur, which is really strong. One thing of note that I really wanted to strike on, was it this guy? Who's my guy that has... Who is he? Maybe he's up here? That's really weird. I thought I had... Yeah, here he is, okay. So this guy right here is the one that casts Mother Oak. In order to get Mother Oak, I need a Nature 5. And back then, I could not make this Thistle Mace. This Thistle Mace gives you +1 Nature magic. And that would let you go from 4 to 5. So I need Nature 5. The only way I could get it is if I naturally got a Nature 5 mage. And I want you to look at this really quick. Is that this guy naturally gets 4, but to get the 5th, it needs a 10% chance. So you see the 10% chance? And it's a 10% chance, and then it rolls between these 3. So I had a 3% chance of getting this guy. And if I didn't get it, I wouldn't have gotten Mother Oak. Yeah, I got really lucky. And I think I end up getting another one, too, at some point, which I'm probably going to miss. But if you see, I'm starting to get all these pans in all these places, and I'm starting to see all the siege strength I've got here? Because I'm scared of all. I'm very scared of all at this point. And so I'm just getting all of this ready and getting prepared, and instead of sending it up here to deal with Marverni, I'm kind of holding up against all. Because we're not worried about any attack down here. These guys are killing each other, which is perfect. I want this to be a busy, and I'm kind of hoping Arcos Sapali wins. And if you see, they're starting to push back. Now, granted, this is his capital, and this is not his land. So right now it's not looking very good for Arcos Sapali. But this is his friend right here, and you can see all of the skeletons he's got. And some of those skeletons are really big skeletons. So it's looking, like they're actually starting to fight back. And if you see, you see all the skeletons here and here. So he's actually pushing out on them. I think I move this guy here next turn, so we might actually get to see this. Yay! I kind of screwed up. I should have gotten more scouts out. Like, they're really cheap. They're 25 gold each. But I was really hurting for income. So I did. Just too many troops. If you see, a lot of my mages that I'm doing are these pans, because I want the chaff. And they cost me about 20 gold per month. So 260 gold per year is about 20 gold per month. And it starts adding up really quickly. I got I try to get 10 to 15 of them. And then you add the troops, and then you add, I guess the troops, that's it. So, other mages, stuff like that. So, I guess that's about it for this turn. And, Marverni is way over here. You see this, like, way over here? Mm-hmm. So in order to get back into the fight, he needs to go here, then down. So we're not planning on him hitting us for another 3 to 4 turns, which should be enough. Hainafi, where I hit, where I move my siege chap, is probably going to break next turn. And so we're going to take Hainafi, unless he brings his army out. We're going to kill Hainafi in 2 turns, and he can only be here by then. We move on to Marverni, and he can only be there by then. So we're probably going to crack and kill his friend by the time that he gets down here. Good news for us. So, we'll see next turn. I can definitely tell you that there's at least one screw-up siege fight, I think. Or I think I lose at least one. So, there will be more to see. Oh, by the way, we found the Jervalian wall, which gives us a free forest. Yeah, isn't that cool? So, yeah, he found that this turn. One more thing that I wanted to look at real quick before we go off. Remember what I told you about gems? You want your gem number to be equivalent to the turn number. And right now it's turn 26. And let's look at our gems. We have 10, 15, 20, 21. And then 24 nature gems. So we almost got as many nature gems as we do turns. And we've got, and as many as we do others. So we've almost got twice the turn count, which is really good. And if we look at our score graphs, we look at our gem income, you can see that our gem income is starting to skyrocket. This was Mother Oak right here. So that's just a magic spell. That's what really helped us out. But we're starting to go up, and that's starting to, and like, but our income graph is kind of meh. Yeah, and our provinces are kind of meh. This is a bad sign here. But now that we've killed his, we should be seeing this along. Because we got killed his great mother, and now we can actually start taking away. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.